Holy man, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So as you know, it is Pride Month and everyone is celebrating Pride Month.
Yeah.
So I have a few questions. Are you ready to answer them?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. So what does Pride Month symbolize and what does it mean to you?
Okay, well, look, I'll have to break it down as to what pride means for someone regardless of sexuality. So, as an individual, just a normal person, whatever your sexuality may be, even if you take sexuality out of the equation, there's something that you have to be proud of, right? And so, bring sexuality back into the equation for people that belong to the LGBT plus community, it is a simple explanation of being proud of your own sexuality. So for me, pride as a movement, as a feeling, will be being proud of my sexuality, whatever that may entail.
Well, Pride Month is not only a time to just like go to parades and meet new people and like celebrate, but it's also a time to remember what happened 50 years ago.
What happened 50 years ago?
50 years ago was when the Stonewall movement took place. Our drag and ancestors were fed up with the oppression and the police brutality that was happening against homosexuality and the Saga community. They decided to form a movement in which now turned into an entire Pride Month dedicated to the Saga community.
Pride Month is just like a time where you can be free, you can dress the way you want to, and you won't be judged because there's many more other people that's doing the exact same thing you want to do.
For me, Pride Month symbolizes the time where you can be your absolute self without being judged by others and what other people think of you.
Okay.
Pride Month, to me, is a time when people don't have to worry about their flaws and they can just be who they are without having to worry about being judged by other people.
For me, Pride, we never perceived, I never knew it was Pride Month when I was a kid. I just knew about Pride, the day. So it was a day where you could go out in the streets and not worry about being beat up, because when I was a teenager, that was still very, very real. If people perceived you as being gay, they would want to beat you up because it's unnatural, and basically the idea was it could be beat out of you. So Pride was a day where you could gather with a lot of people and be in a safe space and say, this is who I am, unashamedly. And so I'm assuming that's what the month is about. It's about being in a safe space and saying that, not saying that the fact that I'm gay makes me special, but saying that the fact that I'm gay doesn't make me any different.
I agree. I think for me, Pride Month represents a month where there's so many countries and so many places around the world that being homosexual or being different is illegal. So for me, it's a month where we celebrate the fact that in South Africa we have it's legal to be married, and we can walk around outside. It's not necessarily always safe, but in this month we recognize the fact that many people are beat up and many people don't feel safe and many people still feel scared to say to someone, listen, I am different than you. But it also reminds us that we don't always understand everyone, and we are reminded that we need to look outside of what we are forced to believe and what we think that this is the only thing that is okay. We look outside ourselves and think, oh, but she feels that she isn't in the right body. That is okay. I might not understand that, but that's okay for them. The same thing is if you grew up with two moms or two dads, you think that is perfectly fine for you, but someone else might think that's not okay. But this month gives us the opportunity to say, wait a minute, maybe I don't understand, maybe I can have a conversation with you, maybe I can engage with someone who we don't understand with. And I think that is one of the important things about Pride Month for me.
Why do you think youngsters in the schooling environment are struggling with the topic of sexuality?
Well, look, you got to take it outside of the school. Take it outside of the school environment, in a normal social environment, in your community, in your religious quarters, wherever you find yourself. Kids, adults will struggle to be comfortable with themselves if the people and the environment that they are in doesn't allow for them to be open and free without ridicule or judgment. So I suppose in a school environment, if a child or learner or person just knows that there is some sort of ridicule or judgment that is waiting for them just for being true and proud of who they are, then that will definitely hold them back from being open about themselves, like their sexuality, for example.
Well, not just sexuality, it's this entire SOG community. Because the community covers topics such as feminism, masculinity, and gender as well, which all splits up into even more broader topics. In my opinion, I think that people are homophobic because they aren't educated enough. Sexualities and different types of genders don't really get spoken or taught in classes in schools as much as it should be. There's also different reasons, such as people being insecure about their sexuality due to reasons of religion, the way their family raised them. They become insecure with who they are, and therefore they push or they shrink who they are, and they decide to take their anger and hurt out on other people, which is really difficult because there were many incidents such as lawmakers who were famously homophobic who came out like just moments before they died actually, because they were closeted and they were scared, because once again it's not a topic that gets spoken about a lot.
Well, from my point of view, many are very immature in this stage and they don't really get taught about it as much as they should be. So they only get taught the basics and they don't see the details and like the emotions and like the difficulties that the LGBTQ people struggle with.
Well, I think that we as youngsters aren't educated enough about these different sexualities, and like in life orientation we get to know different kinds of sexualities, like the definitions, but we don't get to, how can I say, we don't get in depth in it. So we'll know what it is, but we don't know how it's like being like that, or we know that.
Okay, cool.
Because they are obviously still young and they haven't learned yet to accept change. At the moment, we are still young, like my age group, and it's all about following the trends and what everyone else is doing. But I think that as we get older, we will slowly start to slip away from that mindset of being like everyone else, and hopefully we will grow to accept change.
We learn about it in schools, but I feel like they're struggling because it's not that people aren't open to it and they don't have a lot of support. So whenever they like think about it and they don't know what to do, where to go for help and all those things. So that's why they're struggling.
I think that is because sexuality is still a very sensitive subject for youngsters. Like, for example, growing up, your parents don't teach you about different sexualities. You aren't opened up to it at a young age. Essentially, it's still very sensitive and it hasn't been desensitized to it. That's why.
So basically, coming into high school, you step into like your teenage vibe, and it's really like confusing to find yourself. Sometimes you do things because others are doing them, and you don't really know yourself. So you have to find yourself and deal with your hormones at the same time, which isn't easy. So that's probably why they struggle with it. They don't have proper guidance because everyone is trying to be or impress someone instead of being themselves. I agree with you.
Well, firstly, youngsters in school go through puberty. So besides the fact that your feet are growing and your nose is growing and your ears are growing and now there's hair somewhere and there's pimples here, all of that is frustrating, and we don't know. We already see ourselves as, ugh, I'm weird, I'm abnormal. Add to that the fact that the people at home say, but wait a minute, if you like that person, or if you have inklings to like that person, that is not normal. Then there are all these questions that arise, and then you start doubting yourself, and you think, oh, wait a minute, but I'm not supposed to feel like this, but now I am feeling like this. And it's all these questions that at the age of 13, 14, 15 are not accessible to be answered by you yourself. So it is very difficult for everyone, not just homosexual, heterosexual, everyone to go through that. But I think it's for people who are slightly different, it is more difficult because something that for you is natural is seen as unnatural. So how do you explain that to your mother or your father or the imam or whoever who's saying to you, you may not feel that way?
So why are kids scared to come out? Because, okay, well, there's all of that. Then one would think that the kids who have come out have made it easier. But when you watch what happens when a kid who has come out is with his or her friends, one thing happens, and the moment they turn around, you see them making the same friends, making fun of the kid that they are supposedly best friends with. So even though we have come a long way, that idea of making fun of people who are gay still persists. And especially it's especially seen in the kids who haven't come out yet. Because very often, the kid that will beat you up is a gay kid who can't cope with it himself, who possibly has a mom or dad that is doing the same to them at home. Because I remember when I was a teenager, I was out to half the world and not out to the other half. And I was convinced that even though I was living as a gay person half the time, I was convinced that it was wrong. And there's so much guilt whenever you do anything, like if someone catches you with a limp wrist, and straight away you're like, so coming out is difficult because people make fun of you. It's really, there are lots of other things, and there's what happens at home. But if you are in a safe environment where no one's going to laugh at you, because when you are a teenager, you don't want to be laughed at, it will be fine. But they still laugh at you, where they laugh at you to your face, where they laugh at you behind your back, where they tell a friend of yours how they feel about you to make sure you get the message. It's still being made fun of. So it's very, very difficult to announce that you are not like everyone else, because we are in the minority.
And I think just to add on to that, with what I said earlier on about understanding, we are all individuals. The perception that people have of you are gay or you are this, they tag you with all sorts of negative ideas. So you are sinful, you are
a pedophile,
you are flamboyant, or you have sex with everyone. All these things are tagged onto you the moment you come out. So if you don't adhere to that, you are judged, or you are judged in any case. So for a lot of people, they don't want to be judged. So they'd rather lie, or they'd rather stay in the closet and lie to themselves. And they'd rather do that than being judged for their true self.
Because if it's not spoken, it's not a sin.
Exactly.
It's only a sin when it's spoken.
So it's very difficult for a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, for them to, when they understand themselves, to say, listen, I am not all of that, I am myself. And you have to accept me for who I am, whether I am, if I like boys, if I like girls, if I feel like I'm a girl, if I am black, if I'm white, whatever the case may be, you have to accept me the way I am. And I think it's difficult at this young age to be able to say that. And we need to create safe spaces for you to be able to say that, to believe that, so that you can do that for people who are growing up.
My last question to you is, what message do you have for the members of the LGBTQ+/soccer community and the haters?
Well, that's quite simple. Everyone seems to think that your sexuality is the end and end all, the alpha and the omega of you as a person, as an individual. However, it's simply just a part of you. It's just an aspect. So if someone is disliking you, disrespecting you, or just prejudging you based on the fact that you are different in that way, well then they're missing out on everything else that you have to give, you have to offer. Because if you as a person, if you as a whole are like a pie chart, your sexuality is just a slice of a pie. You know what I mean? There's so much more to you. So my message is, be yourself. Don't be afraid. There's always going to be a hater no matter what or who you are. So just, yeah, be yourself. Accept yourself firstly. Because if you can't be comfortable within your own skin, it's going to be a challenge expecting other people to be comfortable with you in their space as well. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Be you, be proud. Don't let anyone stop you from being you and being proud. Love yourself. Yeah! Self-love.
I can't say the message I have for the haters on the school campus. Can you?
No.
But if you had to say something,
I would say that for the haters, that the moment you understand someone, it's more difficult to hate them. Because if you make the effort of not thinking that this is a thing in front of you, that this is a stereotype in front of you, and you actually make the time to speak to them, then you will be able to understand another human being. Full stop. Not that gay, or not that girl, or not whatever, you will be able to understand them. And if you want the world to understand when you are in pain, then when the hater is down on their luck, do the same back. So I'm not going to wish them ill health, because that's not, there's no point. But try to understand, because if we don't understand, we're going to hate each other for no reason, and you might be in exactly the same boat, and then you can help each other.
I've got a whole different message for them. My message is, stop projecting. The only reason you hate me is because you hate yourself. So go and sort yourself out. Go and deal with what it is that whoever did to you to put you in this situation where you have so much self-loathing that you need to project it onto me. Because your hate for me is not my problem. I'm not in that hate.
No.
Your hate for me is all your hate for yourself. So go and deal with it. If you need help, come to me. Even like, you can ask him, I hate no one. I really try, and I don't. No. I really try. I try to hate people, and I try to hold a grudge, and I can't. So, now you can put your face just like you want, I don't lie. So, so to those, so that really is what I believe. I believe that these people that have so many negative things to say about us, and by us I mean any member of the LGBTQ, not just gay men who look like we are straight. Because for some people, we are okay, because we are not flamboyant. I have no issue coming to school in a dress. I have none at all. And if you are going to hate on me, and if you are going to pick a fight with me, then get ready to be beat up by a man in a dress. Like, how bad is that for your ego? Yeah, I come in my dress, and you're going to pick a fight. But no, my message is none of that. My message really is, go and learn to love yourself, and then you won't take it out on me.
And I think the second part of that, with your question.
Then can let me just finish my
Okay, I'm trying to be serious here. I'm trying to be.
Get an opinion.
The second part of your question.
No, so we were saying that you must love yourself. Now, for our community, it's difficult to love yourself in an environment where people don't love you. So my first advice would be, love yourself. You are enough. You are okay. You are deserving of love. That's the first thing. Secondly, being gay or being anything does not make you special. Because within Pride Month, I don't want you, I don't want you to take this out of context, but within Pride Month, please don't think that because you are waving a gay flag, people aren't going to talk about you. Because there will be those haters. So you need to go out there, be proud, and if someone tries to beat you up, you need to get yourself a good support system. You mustn't, I'm not saying that you must now get yourself into a position where you have to be beat up. It's not your fault. But no one is going to give you a free pass in life because I have my rainbow card. No one's going to say, ah, shame, they don't have to do the work because I have my rainbow flag on. It actually means that you must work harder. You must grow a thicker skin. You must fight for the people that can't do it. So love yourself, but also be strong. It's weird. People think, being a gay man, you are more for you're soft. There are stronger gay men than heterosexual men out there. It's not, your sexuality does not define manhood. Your integrity, what you do defines that. Define that for yourself and live it. Don't hide behind it. Don't make excuses for you being lazy or not wanting to work because I'm gay. Because then you are giving everyone else who's fighting for your rights a bad name. So be strong, love yourself.
I'm going to have the last word.
Wow.
So that was for the gay kid, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you see, now here's where I have an issue with gay people who have come out. Once I've come out as a gay person, then I want to force you to come out. And I want to force you to come out. And I want to force you to come out because now I'm living my best life. And I feel so bad because you're not. So to those kids who haven't come out yet, we are all on our own timeline. Don't let anyone else tell you what your timeline is. Don't let anyone force you out of the closet before you are ready. Because you know why you can't come out. No one else knows what's going on in your head. If you never ever come out, that's fine. That's fine. Some people never do, but they're very happy. But this thing where in Gay Pride Month, all these people who are comfortable with their sexuality try and force all these people who aren't yet out of the closet really, really gets to me. So if you're not ready, don't do it. If someone is trying to force you, don't do it. But when you are ready, and when the time is right, and when your heart says that you have the right people around you, and that you are in a safe place, then do it. And you don't have to do it flamboyantly. Coming out is a very, very, very important step. Because if you can't be honest about that one part of yourself, you really can't be honest about anything else. Because if you are hiding that, you are hiding more. But my father-in-law said this to me. I like my father-in-law, he's cool. And he's thin. Where is the 60-year-old is still thin? So my father-in-law, when he spoke to us once about life and about how to be successful, he said everyone has their own timeline. So don't let anyone interfere with your timeline. When the time is right, it will happen. Do you have something to add?
I had something, but now it went out of my mind.
Your time is up.
Please time.
So, for the haters, just stop judging. You don't know what it's like. You aren't in their shoes. You just don't know how life is like for them. So stop judging until you walk in their shoes. And for the LGBTQ plus community, keep on slaying.
Hey! Yeah.
Well, for the LGBTQ plus community, I would just like to say, you guys should express yourselves freely, and you shouldn't feel like you should suppress anything or hide your consciousness, like, because being judged is a part of life. If they judge, don't take it personally. I mean, who are they to judge you? You don't have to listen to them or anything. And for the haters who judge, well, I don't know.
Stop it. Just stop.
Okay. I feel like my message is to both, not just to one. Respect. Just respect everyone. Just like a basic respect for everyone, despite of their sexual orientation, religious beliefs, anything. Because if you respect each other, just a basic, you're human, I'm human, let's get along, it will be okay.
To the LGBTQ plus community, just be yourself, because people are gonna judge you no matter what, regardless of what you do or what you say, they are going to judge you. And to the haters, I mean, like, just accept them for they are.
Wow. To the people in the community, do what you have to do. Be who you are. At the end of the day, people are going to judge you no matter what. No matter what you wear, no matter what you say, how you think, not what you look like. People want to judge you. So be who you are. Be proud of who you are. Because at the end of the day, we just want love. And as Beyonce once said, who you make love to and who you take your ass, who you tell.
It's okay.
And who you make love to and whose ass you take to the lobster is your human life and it's your business. To the haters, tea shall be spilled.
Thank you so much.